Welcome back. It is so good to see everybody. We are returning for another season of the Splatoon 3 North American League 2026. I'm your host, Jordan Kent. We have got so much coming your way this season. And to join me for all of the fun, we've got the crew back together again, baby. We've got Zach, we've got Nine, and of course, Big Money is back in the house. And listen, I have missed all three of you so much. I've missed your faces, I've missed your aura, I've missed everything about you. It's great to get everyone back together again for another season of fun. And before we get to what we're looking forward to in 2026, it's important we look back at last season and revisit what we really loved the most about doing it last year. And so to get us started, Zach, let's roll with you. What were you most just enamored with last season when you look back?
You know, might have to take the standard approach and say just how competitive this season got in general. Every week of the regular season, we were seeing teams jockeying for position, placing highly to make sure that their chances at making the playoffs were as great as they could be. And that really led to a playoffs that was packed with exciting action and close matches. I can only imagine how that's going to elevate and increase in 2026.
And Nine, how about you, my friend?
Well, when the league got announced, we knew that this was one of the first times we were going to see a format where the stages and the modes were going to remain very consistent. So we saw teams come up with new strategies week after week, and that's not something that you see all the time. As Zach noted, these were the top players as well, so any strategies they came up with you knew were going to be great, and it led to some weapons people might not be as familiar with really rising to the top, some stages as well, and I just know we're going to see even more of that in this season.
Now, Milana, of course, Zach and Nine are all high octane. It's about competitive, splat, 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 splats. But I know there are other components to last season that you really loved that we had a chance to really get into throughout the year.
What I really loved about last season was seeing all of the teams build their stories as they came back to compete week after week, all the way up into the playoffs. They built a fan base, and that camaraderie really just warms my heart.
It was great to learn more about the people, the individuals. It was so much deeper than just their splash tag or their team name. Hearing their stories and hearing what Splatoon meant to them, and then the audience that we built as the season went on was just something special. So a lot of great memories from last year. We're excited for this season. We'll get to that here in just a moment. But first, we have to relive some of the thrilling moments from last year's playoffs. And to guide us through that, Zach got a chance to catch up with our good friend EE. So Zach, take it away, my friend.
What's up, guys? Shiny Hunter Zach here, back for another season of Shiny Tips, and I'm not alone today. I have EE with me. How are we doing today, EE?
Zach, I'm fantastic, and I'm finally excited to be here to get an opportunity to get some shiny tips firsthand.
Well, we've got an excellent clip to review from the playoffs of the Splatoon 3 North American League 2025. It's going to be Clam Blitz on Museum d'Alfonsino between Milky Way and Fofofo, pretty much in overtime at this point. And I want to start it paused with the overhead here so we can look at how these teams are positioning. So Fofofo really bunkered around, almost triangulating themselves around the basket with 3Z, and eventually DatKid kind of poking around the left and right hand side of the spinner. On the opposite side, Milky Way, they're going to group up by this ramp, and then they're going to use their special investment early. So let's go ahead and get into the clip. The Tacticooler comes down first, as most team fights start with. By this point, 2 inking specials have been used in order to go through. Brand uses that to get high ground, takes out 3Z, who had already used their Ultra Stamp at this point, and then moves forward, gets another splat there, and will unfortunately go down. But that creates an opening for Q to get that first power clam in. Jared gets a pick, rolls through, and saves the despawning second power clam, and then Ice, knowing what he needs to do, ignores everyone else and is able to take the lead.
Well, needless to say, Zach, that was an excellent breakdown, but a lot of information to digest, okay? So first off, I want to talk about overtime, right? What am I looking for with resource management when it comes to overtime to really try and secure that victory in Clam Blitz?
So the goal for the defensive team is try and poke out and get these early picks as quickly as possible, but for the attacking team, they want to put the pressure on early. That's why as soon as they throw down the Tacticooler, the time has started. So the triple ink strikes you see come out almost at the same time as the Booyah Bomb. That creates so much room for them to go through and forces both the Ultra Stamp and the Killer Whale 5.1 to come out in response from Fofofo, but it does not lead to anything. In fact, the jump backs to Ice from Bran allow him to survive and allow him to get the picks that entry them into the zone and really create a big opening for them.
Okay, I noticed too, like when it comes to weaponry, seems really important. I want to talk about Jared, okay? Almost seemed like he was the catalyst to victory with the utilization of those splat dualies. Am I correct on that, or?
Absolutely, yeah, and the Splat Dualies were popular for a reason. First, they have a great special in the Crab Tank with an alternate range and a great firing mode there, but second, they're able to roll through. So the jump in happens, they roll away from the incoming shots from 3Z and get a pick, and then Dark, using the Splattershot Pro, not a great weapon to use up close, but they get that pick and then save that despawning power climb, and that only happens because of the rolls that they have on the main kit and giving Ice a chance to secure the win for Milky Way.
Well, needless to say, that was a sensational series that we got there in the playoffs, and a sensational explanation from you as well, Zach. Can't thank you enough for taking the time.
All right, crew, we've got a new season up in front of us, and that means there are going to be new things that we're looking forward to, and who knows what we're going to discover and learn throughout this entire season. But let's start looking ahead as far as what we're most excited about. And Milana, let's begin with you. What do you really have your eye on here?
So I kind of wanted to build off of my last answer, and as someone who's just is all about the community, I have kind of felt a little bit attached to some of the teams from the last season, so it's my hope that these teams will rejoin for this upcoming season as well.
And Zach, what about you? There are so many different things that you could be excited about. What are you narrowing in on?
Well, the interplay between these teams is going to get that much more important, because as opposed to last season where your 5 best event scores contributed to whether you made the playoffs, now it's only 4 events worth instead of that 5. So that not only makes it so that teams have to play fewer matches to contribute to their playoff score, but it also makes the few that are included that much more impactful. So look for these teams to get even hungrier week by week.
All right, Nine, I know you've got a Rolodex of things that you were just thrilled about, but let's highlight maybe the top line item here for you.
Well, this may seem like a small factor, but there are different stages this time, and the most popular stages from the last season are returning, but there are a couple new pieces, and in sort of a tight-knit ecosystem, like Zach was saying, with all the interplay between the teams, that small change can have huge ramifications. So I'm excited to see what those strategies evolve, what new stages become darlings, and that 11.0 update changed a lot. So believe me, these players are still figuring new stuff out every single week.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nine. That 11.0 update is huge, and not only from the way that the players are going to play the game, but I think from our vantage point as casters, for me, I love the idea of health bars. All of a sudden, that tension gets that much thicker down the stretch, where you might see how narrowly somebody escaped a possible 3-1 or a possible 3-2 situation to eke out a win. So having one more thing that we can call out and shout out to bring excitement down the end is going to be so much fun. That's just a small part, though, of the 11.0 update. So let's take a dive into really what makes this update so significant, and Zach is going to walk us through all the exciting changes.
Splatoon 3's 11.0 update is out, and I'm here to break down some of the changes that you can expect to see in your Turf War or ranked battles. We have Stealth Jump, which has received some changes to the distance and how long it takes to travel to your target based on how far away they are on the stage. If they're closer to you, you may not notice much of a difference while wearing the Stealth Jump gear ability, but if they're further away, you may notice it will take you longer to reach your teammate and get back into the engagement. New to Splatoon 3 with the 11.0 update is health bars. Yes, when you damage an opponent, you can now see a health bar appear above their head. You will see when they start to recover ink, and you'll see when they take damage from either yourself or other sources. That health bar will go away after a few seconds of them being undamaged, and will also disappear if they go into their own ink in swim form or if they go behind a wall. However, if they are marked by a gear ability such as thermal ink, a sub-weapon such as the point sensor, or a special weapon such as the wave breaker, you will still be able to see that health bar in the enemy ink or when they travel behind a wall. This is perfect and a big change from before, where you had to look closely at the enemy to see how much damage they had taken. New to Splatoon 3's 11.0 update is the Flow Aura state. This is a brand new state and perfect for anyone that loves getting multiple splats in a row in their Turf War or ranked battles. When you get multiple splats, you will enter the Flow Aura state for around 30 seconds, which will give you increases to your run speed, swim speed, ink resistance, and intensify action all at the same time. Not only can you continue being in the Flow Aura state by getting another splat during these 30 seconds, but When you get another splat, you will enter an ink overflow, which places turf down at your feet and allows you to continue that momentum. Perfect for anyone that loves swimming around the stage and getting as many splats as they can. That's all we have as far as news for the Splatoon 3 11.0 update. Go try these updates out in your games today.
Don't miss the Splatoon 3 North American League Show 2026. Here's a look at some of the fun we'll be having this season.
Wait, what is this? What is this?
The
Oh,
King
this is the King
Salmonid
Salmonid.
Megalodontia.
All right, Cater, that was you.
It's deep cut.
That is correct.
Can I get over this? Oh, no.
Oh,
Nox, I think you're doing a really good job. I think I'm just really bad at this, is what I'm learning.
I feel like all of the Splatfest
does.
songs from Deep are very distinct. They are.
100%. Oh. Hater.
Hey, EE, I think I know the artist now.
Please
if you want
tell
to
us.
ask me that.
Please tell us. This is not ideal. This is not I feel like this is side chaos, not order.
Oh, look at that. I mean, that's just the perfect spot. We'll get a special charge off that.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying attention, I just guessed.
kaboom! Look at the damage numbers.
Saf, you feeling scared yet? You quaking in your boots?
No, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I've already messed up my inputs a couple times.
My weapon is too slow.
Hey, the perks of being a ballpoint main, all right? Let me tell you.
Well, as we said, we're just getting started with a brand new season. It's the Splatoon 3 North American League 2026, and we've got all sorts of fun coming your way. Nine, why don't you get us started with our schedule here?
Well, you're here right now, so you already know about the Splatoon 3 North American League 2026 show. This is every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's a lot of fun. There's plenty to learn, so come on in. The water's fine.
Then you can see all the action with the Splatoon 3 North American League 2026 starting Saturdays at noon Pacific time from April 4th to June 6th. Top 8 of those live streams starting at 4 p.m. Pacific.
And if you're missing a little bit of Salmon Run action in your lives, be sure to join the Splatoon 3 North American League 2026 Sunday Scrim every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific. You can start this upcoming Sunday.
And it all leads up, as you know, to the Splatoon 3 North American League 2026 playoffs, June 20th and 21st, with that live stream starting at 12 p.m. Pacific on both days. All right, that's going to do it for our first episode of the Splatoon 3 North American League 2026 show, but we're just getting started with this upcoming season. We have so much more fun coming your way. So for myself, Zach, Milana, and Nine, we'll see you next time.